Hi everybody, Chris Titley here and welcome to Scoreboard.
This episode is powered by Swyftx, Australia's top-rated crypto exchange and proudly homegrown. Just like many of the athletes and business leaders we feature on Scoreboard.
Hi, it's Chris Titley here on today's episode of Scoreboard, the podcast. I'm excited. It's the first golfer on the podcast. We're joined by Harry Takis. Harry, thank you so much for being part of the series.
Thank you very much for having me, Chris. Appreciate it.
Harry, where am I talking to you today? Where are you dialing in from?
I'm in Brisbane, same spot as you.
Mate, it's a cracking morning, and you've been overseas recently, but how's your Tuesday morning been? How's your August been so far?
Yeah, it's been good. Woke up this morning, made brekkie, went and got a coffee, and now here I am.
Mate, and you've been overseas recently. You've just come back from the US. You want to talk about that experience so far?
Yeah.
Oh, that's your alarm to say that you better jump on the podcast. Is that right?
Correct. So, yeah, got back from the US a few weeks ago, did a 6-month stint over there with college, and then after college finished, I did 3 weeks of tournaments. It was good, had a good finish, had a top 10 in the Northeast Am, and then came back for a week, saw my golf coach over here, Ian Triggs, and then I went off to Singapore. So I got back from Singapore 3 weeks ago, so that was interesting. First time playing golf there. I've been there a couple of times on holiday, but first time competing over there, and it was fun.
Mate, Harry Takis, for the listeners out there that don't know anything about you, who are you and what's your story so far?
So I'm a golfer, amateur golfer from Brisbane, born and raised. Haven't made the switch to professional golf yet, just still, there's people telling me to stay amateur and keep doing what I'm doing. You get chances to represent Australia and all that sort of good stuff as an amateur. So just waiting around to do that. I'm competing in the US at San Diego State University. I've been there for a year now, so that's been a really cool experience. Different culture, different golf. So that's been really fun. But yeah, just keeping on doing what I'm doing until I turn professional.
Mate, and your relationship with golf through your life, how would you describe it?
Love-hate, I would say. I got into golf when I was 9, 10. Started first picking up a golf club. Dad took me to the range and kind of fell in love with it because it was an individual sport. It sounds bad, but I mean, I played every team sport growing up in school and, rugby, cricket, soccer, did swimming, which was individual. I'm just not that fast. But I just fell in love with the fact that I could go practice by myself and get better, and that I didn't have to rely on other people. I didn't like in a team sport that I could have a bad game and we would win, or I could have a good game and we would lose. So I'm a very competitive person, and when I was dependent on other people to win, I didn't really like that.
And competitive also in control. You're in control of your own destiny. Is that something which, as you mentioned about the team sport, I had a chat to Duncan Armstrong recently, the swimmer, and he was saying that's why he did swimming, because he just wanted to be him, accountable, in control, no one else.
Yeah, I like in golf, you're allowed a caddy in amateur golf, and a lot of the time I don't want one because there's another person that can impact the way I play. So I like being able to, being in control of the result is sometimes you have to let go of that, but I don't like to rely on other people.
Your love of golf, you mentioned early age, you played a lot of sports, but what was it about golf early on that you thought, okay, this is good, and in terms of the training, repetitiveness, and getting out there and becoming reasonably good, what was the spark about golf? Why golf?
I always had pretty good hand-eye growing up. I wasn't that quick, so I'm a tall, lanky kid, so it kind of stopped me from being able to play other sports professionally. Like, my dad played tennis, and I played tennis for a long time, but I wasn't quick enough. I couldn't. Someone played a drop shot to me. I'm not getting there. So that was kind of a part of it. And I always wanted to play a sport. I kind of knew early on that I wanted to be a professional sports person. It didn't know what sport it was going to be, but then golf, I thought I had the best chance. And I had a coach. I've had the same coach my whole life, 10 years. And he's just always made it really enjoyable. He kept it fun and light when I was young, and then when things started to get more serious, he became more serious, and it's kind of everything I've needed. And he never let me lose the love for the game. Like if I had a bad week, he'd call me and like talk to me about it, and just made sure that I was still enjoying it. It's the first question he asked me every week: "Are you still enjoying it?"
Wow, that's fantastic. A big shout out to your coach, by the way. What's his name or her name?
Ian Triggs. He's a coach out at Brookwater Golf Club.
There you go. Shout out to Ian for that, mate. And in regards to your relationship, is it coach-player or are your mates off the field? And how does that work? Is there any sort of grey area?
No, yeah, we're good friends. I saw him yesterday, actually, and I mean, I saw him for an hour and a half, and I reckon I hit golf balls for maybe 15 minutes of that. So, yeah, just when I'm home, I see him as often as I can. When I'm in the States, I'll call him, and FaceTime's an amazing thing, so that helps. But, yeah, it's a lot of chatting and just trying to, I'm kind of in a weird part of my golfing career at the moment, just because you can turn professional, you can stay amateur, and trying to decide when is right to do that, whether to stay in school for 4 years or not. And yeah, there's just a lot of different pieces to the puzzle that we're trying to figure out together, and there's no one else I'd really value, no one else's opinion that I value more than his.
Harry, I'm curious to know around the amateur versus professional swing in terms of what happens. And, you know, the obvious from my outsider is you're now playing for a living, so that you need to earn your feed and you've got to pay for travel costs and all these sort of things that maybe it's offset by a little bit of sponsorship, and then there's prize money. It's sort of like commission only, I suppose, versus amateur right now where you're playing in the US. Do you want to give the listeners out there a bit of an understanding about why it's such a big switch, I suppose, and the sort of the normal paths that people take?
Yeah, so I think the path for Australians has always been very different to the rest of the world. So for a very long time, Australians would come out of high school and enter the QAS, which is what I did, because there's a 9-month gap in between when you finish high school and when you start US college. So I finished high school in the end of November and college started the next August. So I went into the QAS and did 9 months of that and then moved over. But most people would have stayed in that program until, which is a government-funded program, which help you as an amateur because you can't earn money. They help fund you playing golf tournaments around Australia and around the world. They help you out with money, and then there's daily trainings and all that good stuff. I chose to go to the US because I wanted to get an education. So I did 9, but yeah, most people would stay in that program until they're around 21, 22, and they think they, like people in their corner think they're good enough to turn pro, and then they would go to qualifying school, which is you'd go as an amateur. If you get your card, you'd turn pro, and then you're out there trying to make a living on a tour, whichever tour you choose to go to. Like a lot of people go to Australian tour and try and get onto bigger tours from that, or some people go straight to bigger tours if they're good enough. In America, most people who go to college stay there for 4 years until they're 21, 22. So I'd be 22 when I graduate. And turn professional straight after. Once they sign their, or once they get their piece of paper that they've got their degree, they turn pro and go to a Q school. But there's this new thing in college called the PGA Tour U, which is wherever you rank in your class, there's different levels. So like the number one gets a full PGA Tour card straight out of school. Don't have to go to qualifying school. Don't have to do anything. So you graduate from college, you're playing on the PGA Tour the next week. And then 2 through 10 get Corn Ferry, which is like the feeder tour for the PGA Tour. And then 11 through 25 get PGA Tour Americas, which is the feeder tour for the Corn Ferry Tour. So there's a good pathway there. So you kind of have to weigh up the options. Do I want to stay in school for another 3 years, or do I just want to go to Q school and see if I can get my card anyway and not have to do all that?
Interesting. Okay, so in terms of your official ranking, are you in those 3 categories yet in terms of being able to give one of those cards yet?
So for my class, so it's based on like each year. So I'm going to my sophomore year. This year I was 6th in my class.
Right, so you can potentially go into the Corn Ferry. Okay, yep. And that is paid, right? That's professional, right?
Yeah, you play for a couple $1 million every week.
Yep, and then if you make the cut, you get prize money. If you don't make the cut, you don't get paid almost, basically.
Correct. You get $0. You can play 30 events, miss every cut, you get zilch.
And have to pay for travel costs and your own
Yeah.
kit and everything. Now, in the US, there's also been the name and image likeness, the nil that's come on board. Has that entered the golf sphere, I suppose?
Yeah, it has. Because it's kind of annoying. It's made for Americans. There's a lot of very good international athletes in college, but because of the visa that we're on, we're technically not allowed to work. It's an F1 student visa, so you're not allowed to receive payment. So I'm in the process right now of changing my visa so that I can receive funding. I'm sure there's a lot of people that have already done it. I know there's a basketball player from Australia at the Gators, and I'm assuming he'd be making a lot of money. So I would like to think that he would have changed his already. But yeah, it's
Dot the I's,
it's
cross the
barely amateur
T's, yeah?
athletics anymore over there.
Yeah, and that's not payment to play, it's payment in and around you, basically. Is that right?
It means the school can advertise you.
Right, okay. And the school, do they take a clip or anything?
I don't actually know.
Probably not. I'm not too sure.
They call it name, image, and likeness, but they directly pay the players.
Yeah, right. Okay. And mate, going over to the US, life at San Diego State University, do you want to give the listeners a bit of a glimpse about what's life like at a college university?
Yeah, I mean, San Diego State is probably got the best location of any university in America if you come from Brisbane. So because the weather is just perfect. You've got so many places all over the states where the weather's terrible, and you can only have fun for 5 months of the year, and you can only, like, if you're a basketball player, it doesn't matter if it's cold outside, you practice indoors. Whereas for us, we're outside the whole time. So I made sure I went somewhere where it didn't snow, where the facilities were good, and I could practice all year. I'm not used to the cold, being from Brisbane, so I wanted somewhere where it was hot and there was a beach nearby. But yeah, it's been good. The only way I can explain it to people is it's exactly like the movies. So you need to have a lot of discipline to try and keep yourself away from that sort of stuff, and like, you need to enjoy it. It's a life experience, but there's definitely times when you got to say no to people and you got to go and do your own thing.
And in between school and training, some spare time, do you get to travel around the US, or is it really just head down focus?
We get little breaks, like week here or there, and my roommates are from like Texas and San Francisco, so I'll go with them and we'll go somewhere for a week, which is pretty cool, play some different golf. But yeah, like for the tournaments that we play, we travel all over the US anyway, so I've been to probably over 20 states.
Yeah, right. Already. Wow, that's fantastic. And in terms of the balancing act between academia and sport, what's the values of the university, and what do they say, and how does it all work?
If you don't pass, you don't play, pretty much. Which coach rails on about that, but he's the one that it affects if we don't play, because it's his job. So yeah, if you're not on top of your schoolwork, it's not good. There's no benefit that comes from not being on top of your schoolwork. So I have classes up until from around 8:30 till 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock most days, and then straight after that it's to the golf course.
And what are you studying?
I'm studying business management right now.
Yeah, right. And how are you enjoying it?
Yeah, in America, it seems the first 2 years everyone sort of studies the same thing, and then your last two you kind of focus in on your degree. But yeah, so far it's been good.
And the golf, are you learning a lot in terms of your game? Are you learning a lot in terms of some of the skills that you may have picked up on that you might not have here?
Yeah, I've definitely improved a lot over my first year. I had a teammate last year who he just graduated. Justin Hastings is his name. And he won the Latin American Amateur. So this year he played the Masters. It was low-am at the Masters, low-am at the US Open, and played the British Open. Didn't get low-am there. Played with Cameron Smith in the first two rounds of the British Open. And so I practiced with him every day and just kind of tried to pick up on everything that I could. because he'd been there for 4 years and he was obviously a very good player, and I wanted to pick up on sort of what he does in a day-to-day and how he stays on top of all the things that he did, because he was a very good leader and a really great guy. So I was kind of trying to be like him in a way, which sounds bad, but yeah, he taught me a lot of little things and how to manage certain things and deal with teammates and try and bring everyone together. And yeah, he's been really good. I still talk to him. He texted me this morning.
I was just touching on that point in regards to maybe idols or maybe mentors and the difference, I suppose, and also who, growing up, who did you watch on the television, if anyone, or did you want it to be like someone? And if so, have you ever met these people and kind of gone, oh, you know, I saw you on the TV, but, you know, now we're mates?
Yeah, Greg Chalmers was one. I don't know if you know who Greg Chalmers is, but he won a couple Aussie Opens, a couple Aussie PGAs, and I've known him since I was 6 years old. Not even knowing much about golf, just knowing him through a family friend. And yeah, he's always spoken to me, you know, text me, all that sort of good stuff. When I started getting into golf every year, when he'd come back to Australia from the US, he would like do a chipping comp with me at the Aussie Open or whatever it was. And then we ended up playing the same event 2 years ago. We both played the Queensland PGA, and we went out for dinner after the second round. He missed the cut and I made the cut. And he put this big Facebook post up of me when I was 4 years old, standing on his on his head, and then me beating him. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, I talk to him all the time. Whenever I'm in Dallas, I'll go stay with him and Nikki. They're great people, and I think they're better people than he's a better person than he is a golfer. To be honest, he's an amazing human, and I've picked up on a lot of things from him over the years, and he's done a lot for the game of golf. So yeah.
And part of the reason why we do Scoreboard is to individualise people, the high performers, about their identity, about who they are as a person as well, not just on the field. When I talk to you, Harry, what do you want to be remembered by, you know, on the golfing, I suppose, circuit, but also as an individual?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of golfers have a lot of charities as such, like really good golfers when they get to a certain level, like people, Jordan Spieth, Jason Day, Colin Morikawa, or Scotty Scheffler, all these people have charities. A lot of family members of my life have had breast cancer or some form of cancer. So I think if and when that time comes that I'm able to open a charity under my name, it would definitely be for that cause. And I think those sort of things kind of make you realize that, like, there's more to life than just golf. There's a lot more important things than your sport. And like, we had a massive family outing the other week, and I came home and I got to go to that, and it kind of just like made me stop and think about all the things that you have in your life that aren't sport related, and you put so much pressure and energy into your sport that sometimes you need to like realize that there's more to life than this, and it's really not that big of a deal.
Interesting. Did you watch the Scotty Scheffler 5-minute interview the other day, or 10-minute interview about all this? What do you think of that?
I thought it was the best interview in sport.
Yep, I agree, mate. I watched the whole thing because I think there were some snippets that were maybe taken out of context, or the 30 seconds or whatnot. But you got to watch the full thing.
Yeah, I think like whenever you win a golf tournament, me and all my mates were like, it's the exact same. You win a golf tournament, it's cool for 2 minutes, sweet. What's the next one?
And what's for dinner tonight, right? What's for dinner tonight? And the kids are going, where are we going? Oh, well, might get some takeaway. Oh, cool. All right. They don't, none of the wiser, right? And just on that, your support network, some mates of yours, are they there around texting you, win, lose or draw, and the commitments that you've made as a golfer? I suppose you would have had a lot of sacrifices so far, and some people call them investments, etc. Can you talk about your support crew that are there when you most need it?
Yeah, I think you kind of learn who, people say it all the time, but I think you learn who is the most important to you and who actually cares the most when you don't win. Like, I've got 1,000 new friends whenever I win a golf tournament. Like, I just won in Singapore and I got off the plane and I have 100 texts. And some of those people I haven't heard from in years, which is nice, obviously. But then you have the certain few who you respond to first because they'll call you after a bad week, or when you miss the cut by one, they'll call you, and all that sort of stuff. They'll still pick you up from the airport. Like, it's just all that sort of stuff. I think, like, I have a really good group of friends here, and then I have a group of friends in the US. So it's two different networks of mates. But yeah, I practice with them every day. My coach, my physio, sports psych, all those people, you're going to respond to them first because they're the ones that are always there. So yeah, I have a very good group of friends and a good team around me that I have a lot of belief in. One of my best friends, because I won in Singapore, I played the Singapore International in November, and one of my best friends who I stayed with in Singapore is caddying for me that week. So yeah, I like to keep the close ones close.
Absolutely, mate. And in regards to it's a very open question, but what do you think makes a good golfer from what you're, amateur right now, but then also to the next level where there's more cameras, more money, more everything? What traits are there out there that you're actually practicing, but also that some of the other elite golfers in the world are practicing?
Probably what's in between your ears, I would say. It's a very frustrating game. I don't think you see in many sports the amount of slumps in professional golf that you see. You see world number ones. Francesco Molinari won a major 2 years ago, and now I think he's not in the top 300 in the world. So it's just being able to get over the bad stuff. You need to be able to shake it off, which is it's easier said than done. It's a very hard thing to do, but yeah, I think everyone, like if you line 155 golfers up on the range before a tournament, they can all hit a 7-iron straight at a target. Like everyone has the same, very similar skill set. It's just who can do it when like there's pressure on. I think that's the main difference in golf.
And how do you practice that then?
I do a lot of pressure drills. I play a lot of games with my mates in practice, which I think has helped me a lot. Especially when like I practice with a lot of pros. So you're practicing against someone who's better than you. You're kind of trying to like prove yourself in a little way, and there's a bit of pressure on you, I find. So that helps me a lot. Pressure drills like for lunch, or you got to do a lap around the golf course, which is a long way. Like there's all sorts of little things you do in your day to day to train you to get better at it. But yeah, those are the main things that I do. And I think the more you put yourself in the situation on the golf course, you get better at it. Like the more you put yourself in contention, it becomes still hard, but it gets easier.
And in regards to the routine you have when you go out and you're playing golf, and you're in the zone, you're feeling good, but things don't go your way, versus maybe you're not in the mood or the routine and things go your way. Is that tricky to manage?
Yeah, it can be. It is very rare that I'm in a bad headspace and play good golf. I think it's a lot more common that I'm in a good headspace and play bad golf. I think when you're in a bad headspace and your head's spinning in golf, it just all falls apart 95% of the time. Sometimes, you get a lucky bounce and it brings you back, or you hit a good shot you weren't expecting to and it brings you back. But yeah, I think the hardest part is when you feel like you've done everything right, you're in a good headspace, and it's just not happening. And I mean, golf's a game where there's so much outside influence. Like you think about playing tennis or you think about playing basketball. It's on the same court. Nets like the hoop's same height, same width. There's no wind. There's nothing. There's no outside influence. Whereas in golf, you got nature that's going to influence the ball. You can hit a tree a degree differently, and it affects the entire outcome of a golf shot. You hit a blade of grass and the ball misses. There's so many factors that you have absolutely no control over, and you need like trying to let go of that, and because you don't have control in the end it can be difficult, especially if you feel like it's very easy to beat up on yourself and be like, I'm doing all the right things, I'm hitting these shots good, yada yada, and the result isn't coming. But you just need to stay patient.
A couple of things on that in terms of the angles and the maths. So how are you in terms of your mathematics?
My maths is okay. It's better when it comes to golf, I'd say. There's no Pythagoras theorem in golf. It's kind of just like add some numbers together. But yeah, I mean, I use not a lot of people know this, but I use, like in golf, I use a spirit level to help me learn how to read putts. You sit your feet on the green, have a guess of what you think, how many degrees the slope is, and then you put a spirit level down and see what it actually is.
There you go.
A lot of math that goes into it.
Yeah, no, for sure. And then on that, in regards to, you talked about caddy, and you don't really like your caddies, the advice that they give you, you kind of sometimes go, all right, I give in, you're right, let's do it.
Yeah. I think Lincoln Morgan, probably my best mate, is caddying for me. In college, you're not allowed caddies. Anywhere outside of college, you're normally allowed caddies. This event, I have to have a caddy. So I said to my mate Lincoln, yeah, can you come carry the bag? I'll pay for you to go over there, whatever. And the reason I picked him is just because I play so much golf with him. I play golf with him every single day. He knows my game probably better than he knows his. But to be honest with you, if he tells me to do something, I'm probably not going to do it. I think I'm just bringing him over to have a yarn with me down the fairways. But if he gets mad or reckons he's 100% right, I might trust him. But if he stuffs it up, I'm not listening again.
That's awesome. What about what goes through your brain on a golf course? It's quite a long day out. Does your brain drift? Do you kind of think about things? Do you think about your favourite song or what's happening in the NBA? Do you drift away, or are you always in the zone?
No, I can't be always in the zone, me personally. I'll be drained by the ninth hole. So pretty much when I'm about 20 meters away from my ball, I'll stop talking and kind of get where I want to be, like the headspace. But anytime in between shots, I'll talk about anything and everything. That's why I like having my friends on the bag, just so we can chat about whatever's going on in the world, what happened in the footy, how the Broncos are doing, all that sort of stuff.
Yep. And then the shot itself, what are you thinking?
Stand behind it, literally see a picture in my head of what I want the ball to do, pick whatever club is necessary to hit that shot, then try and execute. If you don't execute, why didn't you execute? And then walk up to the ball.
Yep, and go again, right?
Yep.
And some of the shots that you've played, like, do you compare them? You're like, that was the shot I remember, almost the perfect shot, even though maybe perfect doesn't exist. But do you sort of have a benchmark of like, that was pretty good, that was good, or I could do better, etc.?
Yeah. So many variables in golf that I try to get over a shot as quickly as I can. I used to hold on to shots. I'd be talking about a shot I hit 3 holes ago back in the day. But yeah, I don't even review the golf shot itself normally. I review how we got there. Ball comes up short. Okay, why did I choose that club over that club? And then kind of review the steps. You're not going to execute every shot. Like, that's something you got to figure out on the range. Like, it's impossible to hit every shot perfect.
Yeah.
So there's no point me standing there and being like, after every bad shot I hit, why didn't I hit that shot perfect? It's why. Was my routine good? Did I make the right decision? All the things I can control, were they good? If I hit it a little off the bottom of the golf club, so be it. Got to figure that out on the range. I can't change that right now, but I can change my routine to how I got there.
Yeah, no. And have you watched that Roger Federer video about the number of points that he lost in his career?
He lost like
48%.
It was close to 50, wasn't it?
Yeah, 48% of his points.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and then so just on that, you line up, you're in the zone, you hit a shot, you're not happy with it, you go again, you're not happy with it, come the third time. Do you need to break the circuit, pull your socks up, change, do something different, or you just go again, the same routine?
Well, normally the third one will be a putt, so I'm pretty good at that. So it should be
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you're driving it bad one day, you might try a feel or do something. But I mean, once you're out there, there's not much you can do. You just got to. I'm not a very technical golfer. Like, people try and think about wrist angles and where their arms should be. And I can't do that. I do that on the range, and then once I get out on the golf course, I see shot, hit shot. Yeah,
right. And then in terms of your superpower, you mentioned your putting. Paul Roos, one of the former great AFL players, said you've got to know your good thing, double down on it, whilst also doing the other things, but also what you're known for. Is putting your thing, you believe?
It's probably my iron play. I used to be a terrible putter until I got to university. I started working with a putting coach called Derek Iida, who I met through Xander Schauffele, who's a pretty good golfer. And he kind of reinvented my putting almost. We pretty much changed everything. and it was the best thing I ever did. I went from being a terrible putter to being a very like an above average putter, and I think that's where I saw the most growth in my game. But I've always been a good mid iron player. It's been my strength for probably 5 years. So I would say that's the strength of my game. But if you're hitting a 9 iron close every time and missing it, doesn't really do anything for you. So now that I can hole a few, it helps.
Yeah, no, absolutely, mate. And just on golf and its its own right, it's exploded from a social media point of view. It's exploded through YouTube. The last 5 or 10 years, obviously different competitions. We've had Nick from Live Golf on the podcast before. Why are you excited about the future of golf?
It's booming. I go to a golf course now and can't get a tee time. But I think it's a game that anyone can play. I play golf with my dad. There's not many sport I can go play a game of rugby.
Do you tone it down, or you just full toed odds? You're like, no, I'm going to smash her.
No, I give him. He plays off 6, I think. So I have to give him a shot every second hole.
Okay, yeah, right. Competitiveness.
Yeah, he doesn't like to lose either. So yeah, there's that.
Is that where you got it from?
Yeah, he's pretty hot-headed on the golf course, though. I can't be like that.
You don't seem like a hot-headed guy. You seem pretty humble.
Yeah, I'm fine. He's hot-headed. My mum's not, so that's where I get that part from. But
yeah, it's exploded, mate. And you and the social media that comes with that. How have you handled that and feedback? People can easily give feedback, good, bad, or ugly.
Yeah, social media in golf has gone crazy. If I scroll through my Instagram, I'm seeing a different golf influencer every day, which I think is amazing for the game. Like, I walk around my college campus and there's people who don't play golf wearing good hats and wearing all these YouTube golfers brands all the time. Like, I sit in lectures and I'll see 10 good hats, I'm happy about that, because golf, when I started, was not a sport that young people would play or enjoy or anything like that. And now it seems to be getting younger and younger, which is awesome. Like, I like going out to a golf club and seeing 20 people my age. I think it's great, especially when I play with kids at school who aren't on the golf team all the time. Like, just kids from my university who I meet and want to play golf, which I think is great for the game. I mean, it's only getting bigger, so I don't see any negative in it at all, besides the fact I can't get a tee time sometimes.
Yes, yeah, you can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's brilliant. Now I'm going to touch on you for a second, Harry. I always ask about the scoreboard moment in one's life, which is a moment in your life which is pretty visible. Could feel like yesterday, might be yesterday, that from that moment on, life changed.
It probably was. I'd say it was a month ago. I won the Singapore Am by 11 last month, which was pretty cool. But I think it's just opened a lot of doors. It's probably solidified me in the Eisenhower team, I would say, which gets selected this week or next week, which is the top 3 Australian amateurs. They go and play the World Am against all the other top 3 amateurs from each country in the world. Put me in the Asia Pacific team so I can play for a start in the Masters. What else has it done for me? It's increased my world ranking, so I'm exempt into pretty much every amateur event in the world now, and I get to play the Singapore Open on the Asian Tour. So, yeah, there's a few avenues that it's opened. I won a couple junior events as a kid that I thought were really cool, and they kind of boosted my status a little bit. But yeah, I'd say that one's the biggest so far.
Mate, you sound like you're ready for the next level. Are you ready for the next level?
Yeah, I would like to think I could turn pro tomorrow and compete. But there's so many things that go into it that, I'm sitting in bed thinking about it. And I'll know when the time is.
Well,
right.
we'll capture this moment now, mate, when you're in 2 minds, and we'll see where it lands in a few years' time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you mentioned the Broncos before. You follow other sports. What's your all-time favourite sporting moment that doesn't include you winning a Singapore Open? Yeah.
It's not to do with the Broncos, because they haven't won a Prem since I've been able to remember. I personally think it's golf, but I think one of the greatest sporting moments in the history of sport is Tiger Woods winning the 2019 Masters. For a person to go through what he went through and to come back and beat all these young kids, like, who hit it so far and are so good, and there's so many of them. For him to come back and win 11 years after he won his last major is just absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
I don't think there's another person on the planet who'd be able to do that.
That's a great all-time. We've had the Masters a few times this year in terms of the all-time favourite sporting moment already, but having that one going back, that's the first. So thank you for sharing that. Now, a couple of rapid-fire questions. If you had to subscribe to one streaming service only, would it be Netflix or Spotify?
Spotify.
Do you do the podcasts or the music?
Both.
Both? What's your favourite podcast?
Hello Sport.
Oh, come on.
Maybe this one now.
Now that you're on it. No, Hello Sport. Yep, excellent. Good shout out to them. I love all good podcasts out there, so there's no competitiveness in me at all. To visit a place, Brisbane, which you live, or Adelaide?
Brisbane.
Watching tennis or watching cricket?
I went to Wimbledon last year, but I'd say you can't beat a Boxing Day test.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And what a ripper it's going to be this year with the Ashes coming as well.
With Usman Khawaja the other week, he's pretty excited.
Yeah. All that the India-England series is unbelievable as well. So a good lead into the Ashes coming. Gold Coast or Sunshine Coast?
Sunshine.
Why is that?
It's not as touristy.
Ah, there you go. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
A long lunch with friends or a long run with friends?
Long lunch.
Yeah. Any particular restaurant you want to shout out to?
Oh, I like. I don't know if it's a long lunch, but I like going to Ribs and Burgers.
Oh yeah, in James Street. Yeah, Ribs and Burgers, and you get to people watch there too, don't you?
Yeah, it's good.
Crypto or shares?
Shares.
Have you thought about crypto?
I'm not smart enough to.
Well, there's plenty of education to be had. You are right, and right on cue. And now it's time for the Swyftx bucket list, where we ask what's the one sporting event that you've always wanted to attend, from the Super Bowl to the Boxing Day Test match at the MCG to the pristine fairways of the Masters. Every sports fan has that one dream event that they'd drop everything to experience. And just like those big moments, crypto can take you places. With Swyftx, you can buy, sell, swap, track and analyse hundreds of cryptocurrencies, all on the most trusted crypto exchange in Australia. Where can crypto take you? Join over 1.1 million users across Australia and New Zealand at swyftx.com. So the question is, what's on your bucket list?
I want to go to the Monaco Grand Prix.
Oh, the GP. I've had that a couple of times, actually. Would that be coming in on your private jet or your private boat, or both?
One of the two.
Yeah, I've heard that before, actually. Who was that? It was one of the other guests that did the Monaco GP. Just looks amazing, doesn't it?
Oh, looks unbelievable.
Yeah. And how would you do it? What do you reckon? You just pick a spot, or do you move around, or behind the scenes meet the
I'd
meet the
probably want
drivers?
to meet as many people as I can. I feel like there'd be a lot of famous people there.
Yeah. Now we have a new segment thanks to our newest sponsor, Swyftx. It's called the Passport Stamp, which is powered by Swyftx. When sport takes you overseas, it's not just the culture that changes, it's the currency too. That's where Swyftx comes in. They help athletes, agents and clubs manage the financial side of global sport, whether it's contracts, prize money or everyday expenses. With over $1 billion transferred and trusted by the PFA and RLPA, Swyftx helps you protect what you earn wherever sport may take you. Don't just move money, protect it. Now to the question, what's your favourite overseas destination that sport has taken you?
Ballyliffin in Ireland. It's north of Northern Ireland. I was there a year and a half ago, and it was probably the worst weather I've ever played golf in. But once you left and you got home, or you went to the pub for dinner, an Irish pub, it was amazing. Like, you get in this warm aircon, everyone's so nice, and it's a little town. The British Amateur was there. We're 2 hours by train away from anything, and that was really cool. Just being like, I felt like a local, so that was really cool. And I don't think I'll ever be anywhere near that again. But yeah, for that week I was there, and it was cool. The weather was terrible, but it was cool.
For golf to take you overseas and sport to take you overseas, there's certainly some amazing benefits that sport and golf can bring you. Now, a couple more questions, Harry. Some advice for a younger Harry, maybe 6-7 years ago, that is playing golf and goes, actually, this is pretty good. I want to become a professional like I see on the TV.
Enjoy it. Can't play golf if you don't. If you get yourself in the headspace of like, why do I do this, yada, 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 and you keep beating down on yourself, it's very hard to get back out of it in golf. Because you got to go out there and sit in the sun for 6 hours and just practice by yourself, no one else with you. So I think if you enjoy the game and you continue to enjoy it, pursue it. But I've met so many people that play golf with me when I was 12, 13 who are really good and just stopped because they just didn't enjoy it. So I think work hard at the things that you need to get a team around you, get a coach. If you like them, trust them, do what they tell you to do, and enjoy what you're doing because it's a long road.
One last question. We're going to timestamp this moment, Tuesday, the 5th of August, 2025. We do this podcast in 5 years' time. Where would you like to be?
PGA Tour.
PGA Tour. That's the tour you want, yeah?
Yep.
In the US. You're going to have to probably live over in the US. Where are you going to live?
Yep. Dallas.
Oh, already? With a couple of the other Aussie golfers that already suggested some properties and stuff, yeah?
Yep.
And what's the barbecue like in Dallas?
Pretty good.
Yeah? Are you a wet wings or a wet ribs or a dry?
Wet.
Wet, yeah. Got a favourite joint in Dallas and shout out to as well?
I don't. I get it cooked. I don't go out for barbecue. They cook it for me, whoever I stay with. So it's been pretty. I have a teammate who's from Austin, and yeah, his family's pretty cool, and Greg's family's pretty cool. And yeah, I've had a lot of barbecue, but I don't go out and get it very often.
Yep. Harry Takis, thank you so much for joining Scoreboard today and sharing your story behind the scenes of what it's like as an amateur golfer moving to professional at some point in time, your dreams and aspirations, and also the values and principles that you would hold to on the golf course and as well as off the golf course, and that advice obviously for some of the emerging golfers and emerging sports people out there. I wish you all the very best. Looking forward to sharing your progress and supporting where I can.
Thank you very much, Chris. Really appreciate it.